I've been having some great conversations with all of you on our social media pages lately, but one comment that keeps popping up is about the lack of ATVs you're seeing on the show this season. And you gotta understand, this isn't because we're not trying to get units to evaluate or because we don't like ATVs. It's just that at this time, the availability of units to test is incredibly limited. Go to any dealership and you'll be hard pressed to find any new ATVs in the showroom floor, as they're sold out to the bare walls. We think this is because compared to a side-by-side, an ATV is the most affordable way to get into or stay in four-wheeled off-road. We were able to get our hands on two Yamaha products that have very similar DNA. The Raptor and the RMAX Sport are sort of the perfect blend between a trail and a sport machine. Obviously very different, but very well built, incredibly fun machines that I have had a blast evaluating. So let's take a look at these machines and compare their differences for someone getting into the sport. This isn't going to be a shootout because that would be silly, but trust me, I have a point, so stick with me. The RMAX Sport is the newest model in the Wolverine RMAX line, featuring Yamaha's 999cc parallel twin, an Ultramatic CVT, dial-controlled on-command four-wheel drive, two-wheel drive, and locking diff, and selectable sport, trail, and crawl modes. Plus, this unit features Fox 2.0 piggybacks with high and low speed compression and preload adjustability, and 30-inch GBC TerraMaster tires wrapped around 14-inch beadlock wheels. The Sport rides smooth as silk over the roughest trails and can handle just about any conditions you can throw at it. Put it in two-wheel drive and sport mode, you can get it a little sideways as you're blasting down the trails. And when there's work to be done, it's got a dumping cargo box with a tailgate and a 600-pound capacity. So fill it up with dirt, wood, or feed, or throw all your gear in it, and it's ready for just about any adventure you can throw at it. Obviously, there's a ton of appeal to having a side-by-side. The biggest probably being that you can either bring a passenger along for the ride or have just as much fun riding solo. Although to go through just about anything, you might be limited by its 66-inch width as to where you can ride, and getting to other riding areas will require a trailer, which is another expense. But here's the biggest drawback to buying a side-by-side: price. We've recently seen side-by-sides hit the market that cost more than 40 grand US. That's more than 50 grand Canadian. It's crazy, but what's even crazier is they're selling every single one. Now, not every side-by-side costs that much, and there's more affordable vehicles in everyone's lineup. This RMAX costs about 26 US, which I personally feel is still a bit high, especially for someone just getting into the sport, which is why I want to highlight this next machine. Not only is the Raptor 700R arguably the coolest looking off-road vehicle on the market today, it's totally unique. There's literally nothing else like it offered by any other manufacturer, putting it in a class all its own. And its pure sport DNA makes it one of the funnest, most exhilarating vehicles ever built. The Raptor's pure sport to its core, and it's just as comfortable on the trail as it is on the track. It features a 686cc single, 5-speed manual transmission, solid rear axle, and it even has a flipping reverse. It's a little finicky at times, but I mean, it's reverse on a pure sport. That's awesome. It's also small enough to throw in the back of your pickup truck if you want to take it to the track or just go explore new trails further away from your house. You can look at the manual clutch as either a positive or a negative. Personally, I love it, but for someone new getting into the sport, there is a learning curve to mastering a hand clutch and a foot shifter while you're ripping down trails. Truthfully, if you're laying down money for a Raptor, you've probably got some experience with a clutch. And if you're one of those millennial types who's scared off by a manual shifter, put down the avocado toast, get out of your mom's basement, and go learn. One of the drawbacks to the Raptor is its ground clearance. At about 6 inches under the rear swing arm, you could be limited to the trails you're going to take it on. Are you going to take it through Skeg? No. Are you going to tackle rocky, rutted out black diamond trails with huge mud holes with it? I mean, I probably wouldn't, but I've watched enough YouTube to know that nothing's gonna stop you guys, so who am I to tell you how to ride your ATV? The other thing that's so awesome about the Raptor is how it connects the rider to the trail. And I think that's something we've lost to some degree after testing so many side-by-sides. On the Raptor, it's just you and the machine. Get your cheeks off the seat in the corner and use your body to manipulate the ATV to make it do what you want it to. It's about quickly keeping track of your gears while choosing the best line in front of you, while at the same time avoiding rocks and ruts in the trail. It requires laser sharp focus and some skill, but I found that getting back on the Raptor after 2 seasons has made me a better, more attentive rider altogether. There's a connection you feel on the Raptor that you just don't get when you're buckled into a side-by-side. Like I mentioned earlier, the most appealing thing about a Raptor, besides its cool factor, is its price. For less than 10 grand US, which is about $1,500 less than a Grizzly, mind you, you can have this big bore, dual sport monster of a machine that'll literally make you a better rider. And when you're ready to trade up to a side-by-side, it's a Yamaha, and they hold their value really well. Personally though, I'm thinking most guys would probably hold on to the Raptor too, because it's priced affordably enough that it's not going to break the bank, and it'll still be a ton of fun to get out on when you want to break from your side-by-side. And hey, let's hope the manufacturers are paying attention to this sudden spike in demand for ATVs, and maybe we'll see an increase in production, or better yet, maybe we'll see all the manufacturers bring back pure sport ATVs. Now that's a comeback I can get behind.